Israeli forces have killed 11 members of a Palestinian family in Gaza, marking the deadliest single attack since the ceasefire began 8 days ago. The strike happened on Friday evening when an Israeli tank fired at a civilian vehicle in Gaza City's Zaytun neighborhood. The Abu Sha'ban family was on its way to check on their home. 7 children and 3 women were among the victims. Gaza's civil defense said the attack was completely unprovoked and called it another crime against civilians. Rescue teams recovered 9 bodies in coordination with the UN. The bodies of 2 children are still missing due to the force of the blast. Hamas condemned the attack as a massacre and urged U.S. President Donald Trump and mediators to pressure Israel to follow the ceasefire terms. Israeli forces fired on civilians who crossed the Yellow Line, a zone where the military was supposed to pull back under the truce. Defense Minister Israel Katz said new markings will soon make the boundary clearer. Despite the ceasefire, Israel still controls more than half of Gaza. Since the truce started, at least 38 Palestinians have been killed, and humanitarian aid has been heavily restricted. The Rafah crossing with Egypt remains closed, blocking vital food and medical supplies from entering the enclave. Israel says the crossing will only reopen if Hamas meets its obligations on returning hostages' bodies. The UN has warned that nearly half of Gaza's population has access to less than 6 liters of clean water per day. Aid groups say the current food supply is nowhere near enough to stop famine. Hamas has continued to hand over the remains of Israeli captives. So far, 10 bodies have been returned since the ceasefire began. But Israel has blocked the entry of heavy equipment needed to dig through rubble, making recovery efforts extremely difficult. Meanwhile, Palestinian authorities have received 135 bodies from Israel since the start of the truce. Many show signs of torture, including rope marks, tied limbs, and gunshot wounds at close range. Gaza remains trapped in a fragile ceasefire, one that is being violated, even as civilians continue to suffer the most.
Subscribe for the latest updates. Prime Headlines.
AZ